just like the title of one of the anime series is called Death Note. That's pretty much all I know about the anime series. I just know that there's a title to an anime series out there. It's called Death Note. And it looks like, from what the cover and the graphics is, that is set, ironically, in a dystopia. Why we keep coming to this dystopia image again? Because dystopia is not the real paradise. It's a pseudo paradise that could be thrown over your eyes. Now, what if 10, 15 years ago, that was what we was experiencing when the money is good? See, this is the effects of inflation when the money's up versus when the tide goes the other way and we recess. We could have been in the fake paradise, going out the country, going to this place, that place, going to Vegas, going to Miami, going to Los Angeles, having fun in the sun. You remember how it was when the world was a little different? But what if all of that was part of a dystopia, the beginnings of a dystopia? And the beginnings of a dystopia is a utopia. And a utopia is not the same thing as a paradise. A utopia has this metro edge. Like, it's more like you're infusing a metropolis into something that is originally organic and meant to be left sacred. You know, almost like a historical property. You want to preserve it by treating it as little as possible, as to not affect the integrity of the structure. So these are the elements that can go into it. Preservation, self-preservation will allow you not to be negatively affected as much when you're in a dystopian world where people are writing death notes by death energy, and even the consciousness putting the mind on death and the constant dying. You got people who just, they're unofficial obituary readers. Unofficial. You know what I mean? Like, you do have people that will just, they're there for like one purpose, seemingly, to remind you of death. And it's a reality that, you know, death is what it is. But to overemphasize it would be really to cheat yourself out of life. So the opposite of a death note is obviously a love letter. Because essentially that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to write a love letter and become a love letter with your life, with your energy, with your purpose, your direction, whatever you do. You want to be lovely with it. You want to enjoy it. You want it to be a lovely experience. You want other people to have lovely experiences around you. And if you're in the presence of anyone who would be considered a foe, an enemy, a detractor, then the idea of not being around them is lovely also. So, you know, that in a nutshell allows you not to sign a spiritual contract that you are not going to be the beneficiary of. You won't be the one that's winning in that situation if you sign those kind of contracts. And we're talking about not signing it with ink, although I'm using my hand to make it like a signature. You're signing that one with your heart. You're signing that one with your essence, your being. You're really signing that one with your attention, and really intention also. Your attention and intention. So that is it in a nutshell on Death Note and the whole anime reality that we're kind of in a cartoon place, with more so in a dystopia rather than a paradise. Paradise is something that has to come from the people. Utopia / dystopias is not the real thing. And that is usually a consequence of a paradise delayed, you know what I mean? Like a paradise lost. You know, if you lose the concept of paradise, if you lose the concept of community, if you lose the concept of genuine love for one another, or at least like for one another, if you lose that, if you lose paradise, the consequence is a dystopia. So we're not all the way into a dystopia, but if you look in other parts of the world, you can see the potential for a dystopian tsunami to sweep the social landscape. You know, it can happen. It can happen. And quiet is kept. It is happening in some places, yes. You know, if you were to interview those citizens, they would probably say they are in a dystopia, if not a hell on earth. And a dystopia can be a beautiful hell on earth. A hell on earth with big old signs and tons of advertisement and tons of colors and flashing lights. It's the depths of hell, but it doesn't look dark. The fire doesn't look hot. If you see any fire, it's usually people doing the hibachi thing. They doing the Benihana on you. You know what I mean? Those fires don't look like they burning you up, but it's still hell. It looks like a marketplace, a flea market. You might get a bargain in. There's infinite things to do. The place never closes. It's 24 hours a day. We can all come out here and kick it. It's hell though, but it's advertisement sent to keep you in the game so that you don't feel the flame. So when it comes to that, it boils down to spiritual warfare still, and you're still in a battle for physical, digital, and eventually mental real estate. Super T Sigma, Sigma programming. Stay balanced. Know yourself for yourself.